Hi BookTube, here's my haul from early August. Well, I went a couple of weeks ago to my local Books A Million and my local closeout store, and I kind of fell in and was unable to escape. And when I did, it was with armloads of books. So this may be the only haul I do in August, but it's a lot of books. I was also at a Goodwill store when I was on vacation about 3 weeks ago, and so I got a few books from there, and I'll share those with you too. So I'll start with this one. This is The Girl with Borrowed Wings by Rinsai Rossetti. It's about a girl who has a very domineering, controlling father, and they live in the Middle East, and they went there for his job, and he's an architect. So she meets a shapeshifter who is a boy, and I have a feeling that he's going to teach her about how to be free from that domineering, controlling father. That whole thing and where it's set looked really good to me, and plus the cover and the title grabbed me. So yeah. I got Truth by Julia Carr. This is a companion novel to 16. I can't get this on audio. I can't get The Girl with Borrowed Wings on audio either. I can't get 16 on audio, but it's been on my wish list for Goodreads for a while, and I'm hoping to get 16. Although, because this is a companion novel, I don't think that you have to read 16 first. In my opinion, companion novels have the same characters, but they kind of go in other directions. So while you can read the original novel first, you don't have to. So, Truth. Julia Carr. I got Eona and Eon by Alison Goodman. These I do have on audio. They are fantasy. I am not partial to fantasy, but I am partial to the recommendations of my good friends who like fantasy. And if they rate these highly, then I give them a try. So these are fat books, which means listening time is going to be several hours, like 13, 14 hours. But, you know, I'll give it a try. We'll see. I got Incarceron and Sapphique, both by Catherine Fisher. I have them both on audio. I listened to Incarceron. I got about halfway through it and gave up because I was bored. Now that's on audio, and a lot of times on audio it has to do with the narrator. So I'm not sure if it was that. It's been a while ago, so I can't remember, but I'm going to give it a try, I think, in print, and just see if I like it any better, if it moves any faster. And when I saw them, well, for one thing, they're really pretty covers, gorgeous. And, you know, I'm always up for giving it another try and having it in case I do want to give it another try. And if I don't, I can always swap these with a friend. I picked up We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. I already had The Summer I Turned Pretty, and so now I have the first, and I think this is the last book in that series. I have the 3 on audio, and so yeah, I grabbed it because I thought, oh, I already have one of those, so I should grab that one too. I grabbed Bloodlines, which is by Richelle Mead. Richelle Mead is a very popular author. She wrote the Vampire Academy series, and honestly, I've let that vampire thing go right by me. I don't care about Twilight. I don't care. I didn't see the movies. I don't want to read the books. When I see a book about vampires, I pretty much just go right around it. I'm not interested. Well, this has vampires in it, but it's not primarily about vampires. It's about alchemists who protect vampires. I grabbed it because I thought that might have some potential for me. I got All You Desire by Kirsten Miller. This is the second book, and well, it's supposed to be a trilogy, but the third book was due out in 2012 and never came out, so I'm not sure what happened with that. It's a book about reincarnation, and I have the first book, which is called The Eternal Ones, on audio, and I also have it in print. I read it in print because at that time I didn't have the audio, and this picks up with a secondary character, and the plot largely revolves around him. So I really liked The Eternal Ones. I thought it surprised me. It was better than I thought, so I'm looking forward to this one. Picked up Angel Eyes. I like angel books. As much as I let the vampires go right by, I pick up the angel books. It's about angels. One of my favorite series of all times is the Unearthly series by Cynthia Hand, which is about angels. And don't know if this will compare, don't expect it to, but it's about angels, so I like angels. I picked up Swipe by Evan Angler. This is available on audio, but I don't have it. It is on my wish list for audible.com, so I may pick it up. Audible.com, I kind of, if I can get them for free at the library, I would rather do that. I'm not sure I wanted to spend the money. There are just other things that I wanted more at audible.com, but it is on my wish list, and it's dystopian. So yeah, I'm always up for a good dystopian. I got Surprised by Laughter, The Comic World of C.S. Lewis by Terry Lindvall. Now, I love C.S. Lewis. This is a book about C.S. Lewis, and it is also a book about the sense of humor that C.S. Lewis had, the things he found funny. So it is not a funny book. It's about funny. And I picked it up because I love C.S. Lewis. My favorite book he ever wrote was The Weight of Glory. I love miracles. I've plotted through Mere Christianity. I love the Chronicles of Narnia. I loved the Space Trilogy, even though it's been years since I read it. The Screwtape Letters, The Great Divorce. You know, I could pretty much go on and on. The man wrote a lot of books, and he is an amazing theologian of our current day. So when I saw this just really needed to come home with me. And I will tell you that because of the reviews I've read of it, I will probably just pick and choose the stuff I want to read from it and not read it cover to cover because it's dry. So yeah, but I had to have it. I just had to. Picked up Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. My Mia loves this book. She had to read it for school, and she said it was really good. And so I liked the cover, and I just thought that should be on my classics list for some time in the future when I feel like reading a classic. It's Fire and Hemlock by Diana Wynne Jones. Here's why I grabbed this book. The back of it says, Fire and Hemlock is an intricate, romantic fantasy filled with sorcery and intrigue, magic and mystery, all background to a most unusual and thoroughly satisfying love story. What does this book not have? Dystopia? That's about it. All of those things, I love all those things in a book, so I grabbed it. She also wrote Howl's Moving Castle, which I find, I've only seen the movie, I haven't read the book, but it's a delightful movie. It's kind of anime, voiced by a lot of American actors, and the story is very funny. So I am hoping this will be all that it says on the back. It got some good reviews, so I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, so that's all my books from the closeout store. These are books from Books A Million that I got. Fateful by Claudia Gray. The cover. I swear this book jumped off the shelf and into my hands. It seriously did. It is about the Titanic, and the main character is a maid, and there is a werewolf involved. So that sounds interesting. I thought, whoa, that really does sound interesting. I picked up Immortal Beloved by Cate Tiernan. I thought it looked good. It got pretty high ratings. It's about, immortal people and kind of magic and the whole fantasy thing. So I just thought it looked really good. And again, cover love. Oh, so pretty. I picked up Beautiful Chaos by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stohl. I have the whole series on audio. I plan to read it at some point in the future. These books are kind of moderately fat. I have a feeling they're going to be pretty long to listen to, so I probably will push this till later in the year, like September, October. But, this is a well-known series, and I have all 4 books in the series on audio, so now I have this one in hardback. Hardback books for a deal, it's hard to pass them up. Then the last 3 books I got at Books A Million were books on the regular shelf, but there was a deal. Divergent by Veronica Roth. I couldn't believe this was on that sale shelf. I honestly couldn't. I love this series. It's the Divergent series. There's a movie coming out. I love this. I loved Insurgent. I can't wait for Allegiant. If you don't know about this series, it's dystopia, and where in the world have you been? Not that everybody loves dystopia, but this is a really popular series. So really well written, really good. You should read it. And now I have that one. Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. I really like this book. It's gotten, I mean, the people that I have read reviews about, they either loved it or hated it. I loved it. It's Lauren Oliver's first book, and she is an amazing, beautiful writer. I read Delirium, and then I read this. I listened to all of them. This is available on audio, and it's narrated by Sarah Drew. Okay, well, for one thing, Sarah Drew is amazing. She's amazing. She's Kepner on Grey's Anatomy, and she just is an incredible voice actor. I listened to it and I loved it, and it's beautifully written. It's about a girl who dies in a car accident, and I think it's 7 days she gets to relive the last day of her life and kind of fix whatever she screwed up. She's not a very nice person, but she grows on you. Last one I got at Books A Million was Fire by Kristen Cashore. She wrote Graceling, which is fantasy again, and like I say, I don't know how I feel about fantasy, but I do know that I probably am going to love Graceling because everybody I know loves it. So this is a book that takes place before Graceling, and so I am glad that I found it. Again, it's kind of somewhat fat, so that's going to mean a lot of listening time, but probably worth it because she's a good writer. So now these last 4 books I got at my thrift store. I picked up Girls in Pants, which is the 3rd book in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants series by Amber Shares. I think it's available on audio, but I only bought it because my Mia loves this series, and I don't know if she has this book, so I'm going to give it to her. I also got The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. This doesn't have a dust cover, and I'm thinking, isn't this the... Yeah, Heroes of Olympus. It's the first book in the series, and I just wanted to own it, so it was really cheap, so I bought it. I picked it up. And I got Nancy Farmer's The Sea of Trolls. The only reason I picked this up was because of Nancy Farmer. My McKenna loves The House of the Scorpion, and so does my Michaela. And in fact, my Michaela picked that up in a used bookstore recently, and she said, Mom, you've got to read this book. It's dystopia. She will love it, you know, whatever. Well, so I picked this up because it was Nancy Farmer, and she's a Newbery author, and I collect children's books. So this is a fantasy about Vikings, and so I'll put that in my collection. I don't know that I'm going to read it anytime soon or even at all, but I will have it in case I ever get desperate for a book and I want to go through my children's book section. The last one I got was Me and Mr. Darcy by Alexandra Potter. Me and Mr. Darcy is being made into a movie. It's about a girl who loves Jane Austen, and she goes to England to go on a tour of the places that Jane Austen wrote about. And she gets to participate in a reenactment of one of the books. She gets to play the main character, I think. And so I have a feeling it's like a sweet romance, like a Sophie Kinsella sort of a book. And it's a pretty quick read. And when I saw this, I knew the movie was coming out, and I thought, oh, I'd like to read the book before I see the movie. So that is my huge August book haul. I don't know if I'll buy more books in August, but if I do, I will certainly tell you about them. If you know anything about any of these books, have any kind of recommendations or comments about them, please, please tell me, because I love it when people, you know, either recommend or don't. I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. And then last one I